So picture this. You're sitting at your kitchen table in the dead of winter. It's freezing outside. The sky is that very specific shade of flat mid-January gray.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly the kind of day you mean.
Right. And you're peeling an orange, you get that sudden, sharp burst of citrus oil in the air, your hands get a little sticky, and you bite into a slice.
And in that moment, you probably just think, hey, I'm having a simple, convenient snack.
Exactly. But what if that highly specific act, like eating that exact fruit in that exact season, was actually a profound, biologically coded blueprint for your overall health?
It's a pretty wild thought.
It really is. Welcome to today's Deep Dive, everyone. I'm your host, and I'm joined, as always, by our resident expert.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm really thrilled to be here for this one.
So today we are looking at a deeply focused, really fascinating piece of source material. It's a document titled Why Oranges Are Perfect for Winter.
A great title and a surprisingly dense text when you really get into it.
Oh, totally. And our mission for this deep dive is to basically extract the core philosophy of wellness hidden within this text. We want to help you understand exactly how nutrient-rich whole foods, seasonal eating, and, well, behavioral consistency all connect to long-term health.
Yeah, it's a completely different way of looking at what we put in our bodies.
Okay, let's unpack this. Before we even get to the orange itself or, the winter season, we really have to look at the baseline parameters the text sets up.
Right, the foundation.
Yeah. It defines a nutrient-rich whole food using 4 extremely specific elements, just vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber.
And that constraint is very deliberate.
I mean, think of it like building a house. You've got these 4 essential pillars. Take one away, and the whole structure of your wellness just wobbles.
I like that analogy.
Thanks. But let me challenge that framing right out of the gate. The text explicitly links these 4 pillars to wellness, but there is absolutely zero mention of calories or macros.
None at all.
Right. So why does this source define a nutrient-rich whole food strictly through these 4 microcomponents? I mean, why not just drink a synthetic shake that checks those 4 boxes?
Well, what's fascinating here is how the text forcefully guides us away from that modern thermodynamic view of food.
The whole calories in, calories out thing.
Exactly. A synthetic shake operates under the assumption that we're basically just filling up a gas tank. But the source argues that a whole food operates more like a complex biological software update.
Oh, wow. Food is information.
Yes, exactly. When you isolate a vitamin in a lab, you're stripping it of its biological context. But in a whole food like an orange, those 4 elements are suspended in a highly intricate matrix.
So they work together.
Right. Take the fiber, for example. It isn't just there for digestion. It actively dictates the metabolic pacing of the fruit.
Wait, pacing, like a metronome.
Yeah, it slows the absorption of the natural sugars, which prevents those aggressive insulin spikes that trigger systemic inflammation.
So the fiber acts almost like a biological metronome, just controlling the tempo of how the other nutrients enter the bloodstream.
Precisely. And while the fiber is pacing the delivery, the antioxidants are basically playing defense.
Against what?
Well, cellular metabolism, the actual conversion of food into energy in your cells, naturally produces metabolic exhaust. We know them as free radicals.
Right, the unstable molecules.
Exactly. And if left unchecked, they damage cellular structures, which leads to premature aging and chronic disease. So the antioxidants from the whole food neutralize that exhaust in real time.
Okay, so the antioxidants are the biological shielding. What about the vitamins and minerals?
They act as the specialized coenzymes. You need them to synthesize neurotransmitters, repair DNA, facilitate muscle contractions, all of that.
So when the text defines wellness through these 4 pillars, it's really describing an interconnected system.
Fully calibrated system, yeah.
The vitamins and minerals are the raw materials for cellular repair. The antioxidants are the biological shielding. And the fiber ensures the entire payload is delivered at a sustainable metabolic rate.
That is the exact mechanism the text is pointing toward. Wellness is the natural byproduct of supplying your cells with high-fidelity information.
But if you just pop a synthetic vitamin C pill,
You get the raw material, sure, but you lose the metabolic pacing of the fiber and the synergistic shielding of the plant's unique antioxidant profile. The instructions get fragmented.
that really changes how you look at the produce aisle. It's not just about avoiding bad calories. It's about actively seeking out complex, high-quality biological data.
Absolutely.
But this brings up a crucial logistical issue that the source addresses head-on. If food is information, the text argues that our body's data requirements aren't static.
Right. They change based on the external environment. This is where the document moves from a general theory of nutrition into a highly specialized environmental strategy.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. The text specifically calls out seasonal produce as the driver for energy, immunity, and heart health.
Which brings us back to the title, Why Oranges Are Perfect for Winter.
Yeah, it's like your wardrobe. You wouldn't wear a swimsuit in the snow, all right?
Yeah.
Your body requires a different internal wardrobe for the winter.
That's a perfect way to look at it.
But I have to push back on this a little bit. Is the text genuinely suggesting that the winter orange is perfectly timed by nature to deliver exactly the support we lack during colder months?
It is.
Because, I mean, we have global supply chains now. I can buy an orange in July or a watermelon in January. Does eating winter-harvested produce actually give me a physiological advantage?
It does, based entirely on the reality of environmental stress. To understand this, we have to look at what winter actually does to the human machine.
Okay, the text mentions heart health, immunity, and energy.
Right, and that's not a random list. When the temperature drops outside, your body's immediate physiological response is vasoconstriction.
Meaning your blood vessels narrow?
Exactly. They narrow to pull warm blood away from your extremities to protect your vital organs.
Which I'm guessing raises your blood pressure because you're forcing fluid through a narrower pipe.
You nailed it. The heart has to work significantly harder just to maintain baseline circulation. It's a massive, sustained stressor on the cardiovascular system.
Wow. And what about the immune system?
Well, simultaneously, the lack of winter sun drops our endogenous vitamin D production. That leaves the immune system compromised right when airborne pathogens are most stable in the cold, dry air.
So winter is essentially this coordinated, multi-front assault on human biology.
It really is. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, you start to see the profound evolutionary logic here.
How so?
Well, look at the biological data package of the winter orange. The text argues the seasonal fruit provides the exact countermeasures required for this specific winter assault.
Oh, interesting. Like what?
Well, the orange is incredibly rich in specific flavonoids, like hesperidin. Clinical studies show hesperidin improves endothelial function.
Meaning it helps blood vessels relax.
Exactly. It directly counteracts that cold-induced vasoconstriction, relieving the stress on the heart.
Okay, that is a direct mechanical countermeasure. The cold tightens the vessels, and the winter orange provides the chemical key to relax them.
Precisely. And it's the same principle with immunity and energy.
Right, because of the vitamin C.
Yes, but it doesn't just vaguely boost immunity. That massive payload of highly bioavailable vitamin C physically accumulates in your immune cells, enhancing their ability to destroy pathogens.
It's providing the exact ammunition we're depleting during the winter.
And that dense pectin fiber provides a sustained, slow-release energy profile to stabilize blood glucose, exactly when our circadian energy reserves are bottoming out from the lack of sunlight.
It's almost like downloading a targeted firmware patch for your operating system.
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, the external environment taxes the hardware, the cold, the darkness, and the seasonal food delivers the specific software update to keep the system from crashing.
Because humans co-evolved with their immediate surroundings. When the environment got harsh, the plants that survived had to produce intense defensive compounds to stay alive.
And when we eat those plants, in that specific season, we're essentially borrowing their molecular armor.
We're absorbing their environmental resilience. If you eat a tropical pineapple in a snowy winter, you're getting hydration suited for extreme heat.
Which is functionally useless if you're freezing.
Right, and potentially metabolically confusing for your body.
That makes the modern grocery store look like a chaotic scramble of mixed signals.
It really is a lot of noise.
We're just constantly feeding our bodies data meant for a completely different climate.
Yeah.
Which naturally leads us to the final and I think most challenging layer of this source material.
The behavioral application.
Yeah. We've got the 4 pillars. We understand the when matching the food to the season, but the text closes by dictating the how.
Right, how to actually unlock the promise of the text.
It makes this very powerful claim. Consistent nutritious eating creates lasting benefits. But I want to compare this to, say, compound interest in a bank account.
Okay, I'm following.
One deposit, like eating one orange, isn't going to make you rich, but daily investments yield massive returns over time.
Exactly.
But in a world of crash diets, 30-day resets, intensive weekend detoxes, why does the source specifically highlight consistent eating rather than a quick fix?
Because an acute intervention, like a detox, fundamentally misunderstands how human cellular biology functions.
How so?
We tend to view the body as a static object, like a car. If your car is dirty, you run it through the car wash once and it's clean.
Right, you don't wash it every single day.
Exactly. But the human body isn't a static object. It's a dynamic process of constant cellular turnover.
Meaning we are physically rebuilding ourselves constantly.
Yes. Your red blood cells have a lifespan of about 120 days. The cells lining your stomach replace themselves every few days. You're basically a biological river.
Oh, wow. So if you do a 10-day detox,
Yeah. You're temporarily supplying high-quality raw materials to just a fraction of the cells being synthesized. But the moment you stop, the construction just continues using whatever low-quality materials you go back to eating.
so a 30-day reset is biologically meaningless in the long term because the cells you build during that month are going to die and be replaced anyway.
Precisely. You cannot outpace the biological half-life of your own body. That's why the text uses the word creates. When it says consistent eating creates lasting benefits.
It's an active, ongoing construction project.
Exactly. Take the gut microbiome, which relies heavily on that fiber we talked about. The beneficial bacteria ferment that fiber into short-chain fatty acids, which reduce systemic inflammation.
But those bacteria require constant fuel, right?
They need a daily substrate. If you eat a lot of seasonal fiber for 2 weeks, those bacterial populations bloom. But if you switch back to processed food, they don't just wait around.
They starve.
They die off, and they're rapidly replaced by inflammatory microbes that thrive on refined sugars. The biological momentum requires uninterrupted input.
This completely demystifies the idea of lasting benefits. The benefits are only lasting because the behavior is lasting.
Exactly. You're never really done.
You can't just cross a finish line and say, well, my immune system is permanently optimized now, because those cells won't even be there next month.
Right. It ties all three concepts together beautifully. You need the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber because they are the architectural plans.
And you need them to be seasonally aligned because the structural requirements change based on the external stress.
And crucially, you need to deliver this information consistently because the cells are relentlessly being rebuilt.
It's a profound rejection of the quick fix. The source isn't offering some overnight biohack. It's demanding a permanent structural rhythm.
It demands that we recognize our own biological reality. We are fluid systems, and we heavily depend on external inputs to maintain internal stability.
So what does this all mean? If we synthesize this incredibly concentrated text, we arrive at a unified theory of human health that really forces us to rethink our daily habits.
It really does.
First, we have to stop looking at our plates as just calories to be burned and start viewing whole foods as complex software updates. Fiber is the pacing. Antioxidants are the shielding. Vitamins and minerals are the code.
Exactly.
Second, we must calibrate our internal biology to meet the external demands of the season. The winter orange isn't just a snack. It's a localized, highly specific countermeasure to the cold.
A targeted defense.
And finally, because our cellular architecture is always turning over, temporary diets are biologically futile. The only way to forge lasting resilience is through relentless, daily consistency.
It's a remarkable philosophy to extract from such a brief document, but looking at the sheer logic of this biological framework, this raises an important question.
I am ready for it. What's the question?
If true physiological resilience relies on feeding our bodies the precise, seasonally adapted information required to counter our immediate environment.
Like using winter citrus to fight cold-induced stress.
Right. Then what are the long-term metabolic consequences of our modern seasonless food system?
Oh, wow.
If we leverage global supply chains to eat the exact same rotation of imported fruits and vegetables 365 days a year, are we intentionally inducing a state of permanent metabolic confusion?
Just completely severing that communication line between our internal biology and the external world.
Exactly.
Are we essentially sending our bodies a flatline signal while the environment around us is wildly fluctuating? That is, well, that's an unsettling but deeply necessary thought to sit with.
It definitely reframes how you look at a supermarket.
It's absolutely going to change the way I navigate the grocery store from now on. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me. It was a great conversation.
Our goal is always to equip you with the knowledge to look at the world and your own biology with a slightly sharper lens. The next time you find yourself at the kitchen table on a freezing January morning peeling that orange, remember, you aren't just eating a piece of fruit. You're downloading a perfectly engineered, localized survival patch. See you next time.